Back in year 434 of the Holy God calendar, Leonis returns back following a triumphant campaign alongside his undead army. He meets Riselia at the castle and tells her all about his campaign and how he fought a formidable foe and even died twice. Being the undead king, he won in the end. He then presents a mighty treasure to Riselia he'd confiscated from the enemy's castle. Riselia praises Leonis that he has become quite a demon lord now. Leonis tells her that he has learned a lot of new spells and even made a new friend from the Shadow Kingdom. He introduces him as Blackest Shadow Prince. Hearing all this, Riselia gets insanely happy and also grants him a present. She brings out his holy sword he used back when he was a hero. But that sword is not suitable for a demon lord, so Riselia transformed it into a demon sword. However, Leonis can only use it under certain circumstances which he already knows. In the present, Leo has recognized the tree root as Ericol and starts mocking him that he wasn't expected to meet him after 1,000 years. He also recognizes that Ericol is the one causing the stampede. Leo attempts to destroy him at the spot, but Ericol manages to flee. He notices that the mark he placed on Riselia is still intact, meaning that she is still alive, and realizes that Ericol's goal must be to lure him down. He summons Blackus and lets him in on the circumstances. Even Blackus mocks Ericol by stating that he has demeaned himself by becoming an unrecognizable monster. Hearing this, Leo comments that if Ericol is alive, Riselia must also be alive somewhere. Blackus then inquires about the humans standing behind them. He asserts that they should be hiding inside the shed instead of standing outside. Leo, on the other hand, believes that they must be scared of him after seeing his power and approaches them with extreme caution. However, the girl who had a crush on him expresses her gratitude for helping them out and asks him to save Riselia's life. This makes Leo realize that they do not hate him. He pats her head and reassures her that he will save Riselia no matter what. He then forges a barrier outside the shed and stations some of his soldiers there. Blackus then brings out the snacks Sakuya had given him and offers Leo some. Leo accepts it and starts eating to replenish some energy. In the meantime, he notices Riselia's earring and some voices coming out of it. It is Fine who is trying to contact her. Leo picks up the earring and informs her that Riselia has been abducted by the voids, which shocks her. She asks Leo to come back, but he insists that he will save her. He asks her to locate Riselia's location with her holy sword. After some time, Fine informs him that Riselia is present in the sublevel 7, near the heart of the assault garden. Meanwhile, a void attacks Fine as she is conversing with Leo. Shaley, whom Leo had stationed to protect them, saves her and disappears. She is still not happy that she has to protect these humans, but comments that it is much better than working at that donut shop. Leo and Blackus are heading for Ericol at the power plant. Blackus questions his actions of ordering Shaley to protect those humans and forging a barrier outside the shed. Leo makes some excuses, but Blackus keeps asking questions. In the end, he has to admit that he has taken a slight liking to these humans. Blackus appreciates his honesty as they finally reach the power plant and force their way into it. Leo activates a massive fire spell in an attempt to destroy Ericol, but he recovers in no time. Leo praises his regenerative abilities. Ericol asserts that he believed Leo had perished a millennium ago and questions how he is still alive. Leo tells him that he had simply sealed his soul to return after some time. Ericol calls Leo a fool as the world has completely changed, but Leo counters him by stating that the food has definitely changed a lot. In response to this, Ericol tells him that he will rebuild the world with the empty star, which shocks Leo. He questions about this empty star thing, and suddenly, hundreds of heads appear from Ericol's body and start singing something. Leo realizes that he has assimilated the priests from the Sacred Order. Leo attempts to contact Riselia using her earring, and even though Riselia can hear him, she cannot respond as Ericol has tied her. Seeing all this, Ericol is laughing, which pisses Leo off. Ericol launches an attack on Leo as they dodge it and attempt to counterattack. Ericol manages to nullify it rather easily, which makes Leo realize that this place is now Ericol's domain and it would be difficult to beat him. Ericol then launches a massive attack on Leo and Blackus utilizing his minions. Both of them somehow manage to dodge it, but Leo still gets injured. He is shocked at the fact that he can now chant multiple spells at once using the priests he has assimilated. This makes him the great sage. Riselia, on the other hand, activates her holy sword and struggles to get free. She is trying so hard that even her limbs have started bleeding because of restraints. According to her, there is no point in her awakening her holy sword if she cannot fight at this stage. In the meantime, Leo and Blackus are fighting Ericol with no signs of success. Ryslia's strong will to protect her city and not re-experience her past leads to her awakening her true potential as the Vampire Queen. Her eyes turn red as she forges blades from her blood and utilizes them to cut the restraints. She asserts that she cannot rely on anyone else to protect her. Leo also notices Ryslia's energy and throws something towards her which pierces her chest. This leads to Ryslia's complete transformation into the Vampire Queen as she breaks through the restraints and even grows out wings. Blackus, on the other hand, has to leave as he cannot fight anymore and needs some rest. Seeing this, Ercole questions Leo what has he done to Ryslia. He tells him that he merely granted her some of his blood which led to her awakening. Ryslia approaches Leo as both of them are floating. As soon as they grab hands, Ryslia loses control and they start falling, but Leo somehow saves her. Ryslia expresses her gratitude for helping her out. Ercole, on the other hand, is pissed at all this. He announces that he will destroy Leo using the most logical path. He then activates a massive spell which makes Blackus realize that he is attempting to take the entire assault garden down. Leo asks Ryslia to protect him, so he can utilize his ultimate move. She protects Leo using her vampire abilities and her holy sword. Blackus realizes what Leo is about to do and asks if he is prepared for all this. Leo, on the other hand, is free now that Ryslia is safe and does not need to hold back anymore. Back in 434, the goddess Reselia told Leonis that even though she had transformed the holy sword into the demon sword, it had still retained its will. The condition for drawing the demon sword is only if Leonis wants to protect his kingdom. With this, he announces that the 7th Assault Garden is now under his command and the people who reside here are under his protection. This allows him to draw the demon sword Dane's life. Blackus and Ryslia are shocked to see all this. Even Ercole is baffled and asks how Leo managed to get that sword. Leo then utilizes the Ragna's Kingdom school secret technique Ragna Lost and absolutely obliterates Ercole from the face of the earth. With this, all the voids outside lose their power and start falling on the ground. The researchers at the headquarters also announce that new voids have ceased appearing and that the Void Lord has also perished. According to them, there was a huge explosion at the power plant and following that, the Void Lord disappeared. For them, all of this was luck and an accident that saved them. In the meantime, Leo and Ryslia manage to make it outside safe and sound. They meet up with other members of Platoon 18 who are also safe. The following day, Leo is lying on his bed as his muscles are completely sore. He realizes that this body has its limits and he has to be careful from now on. In the meantime, Ryslia appears in his room with some snacks and a medal those kids made for him. Seeing this, Leo gets shocked at how he announced humans who were his enemies as his own people. Ryslia then asks Leo if she can suck some of his blood as her holy sword utilizes a lot of energy. Leo agrees and Ryslia starts sucking his blood from his finger. At that exact moment, Fine and the others appear in Leo's room to check up on him only to find Ryslia sucking Leo's finger. All of them get shocked by this and Ryslia gets embarrassed. She tries explaining her situation, but they are not ready to listen. In the end, Princess from the capital is also on her way to the 7th Assault Garden to appreciate everyone for their hard work. Now that Ercole is dead and Ryslia has managed to awaken her vampire abilities, things are quite peaceful. However, this princess seems a bit suspicious. To find out what she's up to, make sure to like and subscribe.